Once everyone was sorted, the mages began their spell casting again in preparation to transport the group somewhere. This version seemed far more complex than the first time that Karl had seen it, and the effort was visibly draining on the two mages. That must mean they were going quite a bit further than the outskirts of the academy, which had been a simple and effortless spell for just the elder teacher. But they appeared in the target location just as smoothly as they had the first time, and Karl found himself standing next to Dana in a ruined warehouse, still stocked with bags of dry goods and one slowly leaking barrel of honey that had attracted a huge number of bees.
"We should move before we anger them. I don't fancy being stung by bees today,"
Karl whispered as Dana took in their surroundings. Hawk was eager to get out and see what was going on, but until they knew what sort of danger level they were facing, Karl didn't want to send him up blindly. Dana gestured toward a large hole in the wall that seemed to lead out to the main road, and the duo began to move, making their way out into a ruined village.
"This just happened. I can still smell fresh blood and gunpowder,"
Karl whispered. Both smells were unpleasantly familiar after a childhood of helping at the mines, and with his enhanced senses, courtesy of Hawk, he could pick them out much more clearly than ever.
"What do you mean?"
Dana replied softly.
"This village was attacked in the last day or two. That's probably why we are here, to help clean out the monsters that have tried to move in. I will send up Hawk now so we know what we're up against, and then we can come up with a plan. It's a good thing that you've been working on your mana control, because I think you're going to need magic missiles far more than the fog today."
This would be a brutal crash course for the first-year students, even if they were the hand-picked best of the batch. They had only been at the academy for a few weeks, and they were mostly working with one or two abilities that were still at the common grade. That should mean that the threat level here wasn't too high. But if it were just common grade monsters, the townsfolk should have been able to chase them off. Perhaps the response hadn't come quickly enough and the elites had dealt with the stronger monsters too late, leaving just the dangerous local wildlife for the students to clean out.
"There are angry pigs here. We're killing them, right? Then eating them?"
Hawk reported.
"Tell me exactly where they are in relation to me and how many. I also need to know how strong each is or how many of them are awakened or higher."
Karl replied, training the Hawk how he wanted the scouting reports to be structured.
9 pigs, all injured. 1 with awakened power, 200 meters in my direction from the building. Oh, there are more monsters south. If you go that way, there are 6 goblins, none awakened. They're lazy, making a campfire.
"You know the routine. Work first and then eat. Lead us to the goblins and keep an eye out for more monsters. The book said that goblins travel in large bands, so there are likely more of them around."
Karl replied.
"There are some wild pigs that Hawk wants to eat, but there are goblins on the south side of town. That would explain why things went so badly here. Even if they're weak, they're smarter than most wild magical beasts, and they come in large numbers. We are going to have to clear out the 6 that are left here first, and then we can look for more stragglers and anything else."
Anything else meaning survivors. But it would be uncouth to say that out loud so early into their mission. Dana nodded grimly, not really ready to see a true monster in person and in the wild with just one other student beside her. But she knew that this was the training mission, and they had been sent here specifically to take care of this threat. Hawk circled the town, looking for movement and anything else that the other two might find. Work first and then eat, so the faster he helped them get all the work done, the better. That meant that he couldn't miss any of the targets.
"I found more goblins. In a house, 4 doors up from you and across the street. I can see 2 of them from my perch."
Hawk reported. Karl relayed the message to Dana in a whisper and then kept walking.
"What are you doing?"
She hissed.
"If they know that we have seen them, they will call for help instead of trying to ambush. Hawk has his eyes on them. He won't let them actually ambush us. Just stay close to me, and when they rush, you cast Magic Missile."
Karl whispered back as he walked. Karl crossed the street, watching the building that Hawk had marked with his enhanced peripheral vision without turning his head. The goblins didn't have great eyesight, so they would assume that if he wasn't looking at them, he hadn't seen them. And sure enough, as soon as he passed, they charged out with a battle cry. There were just 3 wounded common-grade goblins, and 2 of them fell to Hawk's rend before either Karl or Dana could respond. Karl took the last with a flex of his fingers, and the town fell silent again.
"Hawk, keep searching. That cry might have alerted the others,"
Karl directed. The hawk flew away, and Dana gave it a look of admiration.
"He's got great reflexes,"
she muttered.
"He's definitely a good friend to have on a day like this. He's gone to scout for more goblins, in case something heard and responded to that battle cry."
Karl flaunted his pet beast. Karl kept them moving south toward the edge of town, even when he felt the occasional pull of exertion as Hawk took out lone goblins that had been hiding in town. He was not happy about the situation, as they smelled terrible and were inedible to him. But there was the promise of iron-tusk boars in the distance as soon as he found and eliminated them all.
"They really prepared a brutal test for us today. Hawk has found 5 more wandering goblins so far, and we're still not to the larger pack of 6. Take out whichever ones you want when we arrive. Your spell is slower to cast than Rend, so I will let you lead off the attack, and then I will keep them from getting to us." "How are you doing with the multiple missiles effort?"
Karl asked.
"I can still only control 2 at a time, but once I get the spell started, it should be much faster to send the next volley. Are there any awakened rank goblins in the pack?"
She replied.
"According to Hawk, they're all common grade followers. There is no sign of a stronger leader. The elite who came here first likely dealt with the stronger foes and then left the rest, or they ran and came back,"
Karl replied. Karl caught a glimpse of flames in the distance, on the outskirts of town, and put a finger to his lips to signal silence from here forward. The goblin camp was loud, preparing for something, and they didn't even have a guard out when Karl led the way to the edge of the clearing where they had set up. Once they were close, he crouched, getting low to the ground so that his uniform didn't stand out quite as badly, and did his best to move silently. It was clear that there had once been many more goblins here, but presently only 6 remained, easy prey for the 2 elites. Dana focused and put a pair of magic missiles into the back of 2 of the goblins near the fire pit, while Karl took out the one closer to him. Then he aimed for the one who reacted the fastest, and another who was trying to run. Dana got the last of them in the back, and Karl rose to his feet to go make sure they were really dead. There would be nothing worse than having what they thought was a defeated enemy come from behind and ambush them. But as he made his way through the camp, Karl immediately began to regret moving in for a closer look. He had forgotten what goblins ate, which was mostly the flesh of the villagers they slaughtered, and the stench was overpowering. But after motioning for Dana to stay put for the moment and watch for reinforcements, he checked all the bodies, giving them all a quick stab with a pilfered goblin sword before moving back to their hiding spot.
"They're finished. Let's move back into town and take care of the rest of the targets. Then we can kill the pigs and have some lunch before waiting to see what else we are supposed to be doing here. I think that this should be it, but I was expecting a bit more guidance."
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.